Hey, what is going on guys? Oscarmini here again, and today I bring to you the review of the Infinix Hot 8. But before we head into the full review, kindly click on the subscribe button and also click on the notification icon to stay notified for future videos like this one. So without taking much of your time, yo guys, let's get started. The box we have this time comes in green as opposed to the orange box from the Hot 7, and the variant I have here comes with 32 gigs and 2 gigs ROM and RAM respectively. While opening the box of the Infinix Hot 8, you are greeted with the device itself. Setting that aside and going a little further, you see the envelope housing the same ejector tool, warranty and Infinix support card, a screen protector film, user guide, the textured and great looking TPU case. Probing further, you get the earphone, a micro USB cable, the power brick rated at 10 watts for your Hot 8 device. Setting this device up is simple and straightforward as always. It took me about 2 minutes to get the pattern, face and lock, fingerprint and Google account all set up on the Hot 8. When it comes to the looks, the Infinix Hot 8 looks pretty much like most devices in the smartphone market right now. We have a regular display with a water drop notch here. Honestly, when comparing the Infinix Hot 8 to the Tecno Camon 12, they basically look like one of them copied the other. The Hot 8 is obviously built out of plastic, and that's expected when you consider the price. The front shows off a 6.6-inch HD Plus display with a water drop notch housing an 8-megapixel camera with a single flash. This design feels like a double flash, just like we had on the recent Tecno devices, but the second flashlight opening should have the light and proximity sensor. Above the camera is the earpiece opening. The left side of this device has the dual SIM tray. I didn't seem to find support for Glo 4G Band 28 in the user guide. This tray also features a dedicated microSD card slot, while the right side shows off the volume rocker and power button key. The top is bland, and you have, from left to right at the bottom, the speaker grills, micro USB 2.0 ports, mouthpiece opening, and the 3.5mm jack ports. Taking a trip to the rear, which by the way looks awesome with this gradient thingy going on, reveals a triple camera setup, an LED flash, the fingerprint biometric sensor in this square-shaped opening, and the Hot branding at the bottom. And that's basically it as far as design is concerned. Talking a little more about the display on the Infinix Hot 8, this is a 6.6-inch HD Plus panel with a resolution of 720 by 1600, just like we had on the Camon 12. Screen to body ratio here is about 81%, and we have a pixel per inch density of 269. Yet a major thing to note is the 20:9 aspect ratio from this display, also making it a long device. When it comes to how color is represented here, it is pretty much like every other good and bright device out about this price. It so much looks like the Camon 12 in that regard, and all I can say right now is it is pretty much solid at what it does. Back to the camera, we have the 30 megapixels, 2 megapixels, and a QVGA sensor. I still wonder why we have a QVGA here. Anyways, this triple camera setup has an LED flash also for your late night shots. Now we've talked numbers, let's see how this camera combination performs. The A22 chip in here should aid in the camera imaging, and for the shots I've taken so far, I think the pictures coming off here are as good as they should get. The pictures were pretty much okay when compared to the competition, and they were also stable in production as far as my test went. Color representation is nice and you get pretty much decent details in your photos. Note that there isn't any form of wide angle feature coming off the smartphone. It is pretty much point and shoot. The front-facing camera on the other hand has an 8-megapixel sensor and also a single flash for those late-night selfies. Now the photos were good and usable for social media activities, nice details, but you begin to lose the details when you crop into the photos. Features such as bokeh and beauty modes are also available on the smartphone. The key to getting nice photos as to every other entry device is good lighting, and that also applies to the Infinix Hot 8. When it comes to videos, this device takes them using the front and rear camera at a maximum of 1080p resolution. You also lack any form of stabilization as seen in my footage. You shouldn't expect the best video here, but I can assure you that you get value for what you pay. Hey, what is going on guys, Oscarmini here, and this is a front-facing camera test for the Infinix Hot 8. Yo guys, let me know what you think about this camera in the comment section. Performance is one place the Infinix Hot 8 takes a little toll, but this doesn't mean you don't get a decent performing device. It simply means you get a basic computing smartphone that runs okay for the price with a MediaTek Helio A22 processor, paired with 2GB of RAM and 32GB of internal storage. Now, my piece of advice here would be to get the 4GB, 64GB variant wherever possible, as that would be a better performing device. You shouldn't expect much when it comes to multitasking, as 2GB of RAM doesn't really have much to offer. Straight out of the box, I realized 61% of the RAM was already used up and 776MB was left. Also, 25% of storage comes preoccupied and you have about 24GB available out of the box. Games like PUBG maxed out at balanced graphics and medium frame rate, and though you can play such games here, you definitely see the stutters and lags in performance. Here are the screenshots of the AnTuTu and Geekbench scores for the Infinix Hot 8. The battery is one aspect the Infinix Hot 8 does shine. It has about 5000 mAh battery capacity here, and for the past 7 days, roughly 7 days I've been using this device, I can say for sure that it has a really decent battery life. I usually would end the day with over 30% battery, and this is me using the phone for media consumption, surfing the web, and some intensive use, all because I needed to know how it performs. For a regular user, I think you should get about a day and a half usage from this smartphone. Charging the battery in my test with a 10W charger included in the box took close to 3 hours to get to 100% from flat. Pricing for the Infinix Hot 8 is roughly $105, as I got my unit here in Abuja for 38,000 naira. On considering the value to amount paid ratio, this device wouldn't be termed a ripoff. I think it's worth the price. So what are my thoughts on the Infinix Hot 8? It is a very practical device that will cater for your smartphone needs and at an affordable price. You definitely get what you pay for: nice looking social media shareable photos, a massive battery capacity, and a decent computing power. But if you're in search of the most amazing photos and a speedy computing beast that can run several apps in the background, you might want to skip this one, add about $30 or 10,000 naira and get a different device. Maybe a Tecno Camon 12 would do. Like I said, for the price, I consider the Infinix a nice bargain, and there are people who this device definitely would suit. And there you have it, my review on the Infinix Hot 8. Do let me know your thoughts in the comment section, as I'd love to hear from you guys. Do not forget to share, like, and also subscribe if you haven't done that already. Other than that, it's goodbye, and I'm gonna catch you in the next one. Create.